What's up guys, and thank you for checking out this video on my channel, Star Wars Cosplay. My name's Andy, and in this video I'll be showing you how I've used an Adafruit Audio FX soundboard to create something that can be used for triggering sounds whilst costuming. Let's do this.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
So guys, I was looking for a solution for triggering sounds for a Wookiee costume I'm building, and then I also realised it could be used for many other different cosplay applications. So let me talk you through the different components, and then we'll give you a demo of how it works. And after that, I'll show you how to prepare the file names, and then we'll add some sound files to the board and see what it sounds like. So first of all, you've got this box. This one measures 110 by 55 by 18 millimeters. Got this one off eBay. Inside you can see the sound triggering board, which is an Adafruit board. This is the 2 megabyte version, but there is actually a 16 meg version as well. There's also this little on-off switch, a charging circuit to charge this LiPo battery that's stuck here on the roof of the box. Then we've got this 12 core cable, which comes down to a neoprene glove, a wrist support I believe it is, from Amazon. And then we've got these little switches here, which I bought from electronics123.com. If you are interested in purchasing any of the parts, they are all available via the link in the description. Right, let's get on and see what it sounds like. So, we've connected it all up. We have our PYLE PWMA50B 50 watt amp, which is very loud and awesome. A little rechargeable thing, it's great. We also have our unit, which we've now connected up with this headphone jack and cable, 3.5mm cable to connect the two. We've switched it on. I've now put on the wrist support with our buttons. So let's play some samples and see what it sounds like. So that's for the Wookiee, but obviously you can use it for Kylo, you can use it for a TK, you can use it for anything you want. Let's get into it and show you how to load the sounds. So as you can see, I've connected the USB cable to the Adafruit board. The other end will go into the PC, and let's do that now. So here we have it. We have plugged in our USB cable from our Adafruit Sound FX board, and you can see that on the right hand side here it's empty. On the left hand side, these are files that are stored on my PC. You'll probably recognize a few of those, especially the top one.
I'll show you the dark side.
Classic Kylo line. Let's get these copied across to the Adafruit board before we do anything else, because it will take a few seconds. There we have it. All our files are now copied across. I think we'd probably use, I'll show you the dark side, as button 1. We're going to use that the most. So what we need to do is call this T01, and that will put that on button 1. Now we're going to do another basic trigger one for another one of these sounds. So let's just use this one for now, and we're going to call this T02. So for button 3, we want something a little bit different, and we're going to use the random trigger. So if you want the random one, you can have lots of different samples on the same button. So whenever you push the button, it randomly plays a different one. So for this, we need to name this T03RAND0, and that's going to be our first random track on button 3. We're going to do exactly the same for the rest of these. T03 RAND, and this is going to be number 1. Let's just copy that and make this a bit quicker. That's going to be number 2. That's going to be number 3. And this is going to be number 4. So including the 0, we should have 5 different random sound effects on button 3. Now on button 4, we're going to have something a little bit different. So on button 4, we're going to have this saber effect. So this sounds like this. So it's a constant kind of saber sound. And what we're going to do is have that on button 4, but this is slightly different. This is going to be a hold one. So as long as you're holding the button down, the sound will be playing. There is another one with a latch, so you can click it on and click it off, but I prefer to use the hold. So we're going to name this one T04 Hold L. Now don't forget, these are all WAV files, so on your PC it may show the extension as .wav, but that's all it needs to be called as the file name, T04 Hold L. So these are all now named and moved over to the Adafruit soundboard, so let's disconnect it and see what they sound like. Okay, so here we are back on the bench and connected it back up with the jack. It's all ready to go. Let's switch her on. The amp's all ready. And remember what we put in number 1.
I'll show you the dark side.
It starts and stops every time
I'll show you the dark side.
you push the button. Same with button 2.
It means nothing to me.
Now button 3 we had the randoms.
I'm impressed. Surgeon, where is it? Han Solo. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. What do you think you'll see if I do?
So there's all our sounds we loaded on that one. And the saber. So as soon as we let go, the sound stops. And when we push it again. So as long as we're holding it, the sound's going. So that's for Kylo Ren. Let's try something else. Let's try a Stormtrooper and a Wookiee. So here we have our Adafruit Sound FX board plugged in again. On the right, as you can see, it's empty. And on the left here, we have the sounds that are on the PC already. So let's just copy those across. Something I didn't mention before, these sounds that are on the PC need to be OOG files or WAV files. If you are using WAV files, they need to be in mono, they need to be in PCM format or .wav, and they also need to be 22 kilohertz. So whilst we're just copying these over, let's decide what we want. I think I'm going to have one sound on button 1, one on 2, one on 3, and we're going to have randoms on the 4th button. So they've moved across now, as you can see. On button 1 then, I'm going to have the blaster. So we're going to call this, as we did before, T01. On button 2, I like approaching people and saying, let me see your ID. So let's have that as T02. It's not the droids. We'll have that as 03. And the rest we're going to have as randoms. So once again, we will do this as T04 for button 4. Random 0. So let's just name the rest of them. So there we have it. We have 1, which is our blaster. 2.
Let me see your identification.
Let me see your identification. And 3.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
They're not the droids. And the rest are going to be randoms. Okay, let's connect it back up to the wrist support with the buttons on, and let's see what it sounds like. Alright, so we're all connected back up again. I've got the wrist support on with our buttons. And here we go. On button 1, our blaster.
Let me see your identification. These aren't the droids we're looking for.
And on button 4, we had the randoms.
There's one. Set for stun. The Death Star plans are not in the main computer. Move along. Move along.
Classic.
It's them. Blast them. Open the blast doors. Open the blast doors.
So there we have it. Our Stormtrooper and our Kylo. all with sound effects assigned to different buttons. Like I say, you can have whatever sounds you want on any buttons. It just takes a little bit of configuration with your file names. Alright, let's set up the sounds for the Wookiee. Alright, so I've loaded the Wookiee sounds, and on number 1, classic roar. Number 3, I've made into the random sounds. And just to show you what the latching was like, you can just start and stop from the beginning every time, and that's on button 4. But you can have anything on that. You can have some background sounds and make up a long wave file if you want, and just have lots of different various sounds on there, so when you push it, it'll just start and stop. But like I say, you can assign any sounds to any of the buttons and do whatever you want, really. So that's the Adafruit Sound FX board. Thanks for watching. Cheers.